Carolina Finance, Albert County on. We're back again with a special guest. You know, he always at this time of the year, you know, he always give us his time out of his busy schedule. He didn't have to do it, but he did, and we really appreciate it. But I'm gonna go ahead and give the floor to my homeboy Mike over there, so he can go ahead and
I'm
say what
gonna
he got
just
to say.
I'm gonna just say I'm Mike, man, and I just want to say I'm gracious. Words can't express how much Mr. Eugene blessing us with this draft update before the draft, pre-draft, and for everybody out there, he's about to fly to Green Bay to be down there for the festivities. So for him to take his time out to be with us, we want to say thank you, man. So appreciate it. So we're not gonna hold you. We're gonna jump right in and just
Okay,
there you
cool.
go and ask the first question, man.
Well, we'll go ahead. We're just gonna get the floor to you, Mr. Eugene. In this upcoming draft, as far as the Carolina Panthers side, since we over here in Charlotte, what do you think the Carolina Panthers need to pick in this year's draft to help build up the team, help build up, fortify the foundation that they already started?
Okay, so we know that the Carolina Panthers, their offense did so much better towards the end of the season. And
Yeah,
primarily I think it's because the
yeah.
offensive line remained intact. And so I thought that Dan Morgan, I thought one of his things he's going to have to focus on was the defense. When we were third down percentage woeful and in in rushing yardage
Mm-hmm.
woeful. I mean, we couldn't stop anybody and we couldn't stop them on third down. Yeah,
Okay.
we got some sacks. Yeah, we got some things. However, the proof is in the pudding. A third down percentage, we were very, very terrible. We couldn't stop anybody. And so I thought that Dan Morgan, moving forward, is going to have to focus on the defense. He's already
Mm-hmm.
addressed that in free agency.
Okay.
Two big signings. One with the young man from the Rams who came here,
Bobby
Yeah.
Detroit
Brown.
Line. Don't forget
Mm-hmm.
we get Derek Brown back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
DJ Warner, who I think is a sleeper and is still really played well at the end of the season. He's
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
that edge rusher. So what are we lacking? I think it comes down to a linebacker. I think it
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
comes down to we've always had dogs at linebacker.
Yeah.
If we go back to Dan Morgan, John Beeson, Luke Kuechly, there's always
Mm-hmm.
been a dog at the linebacker spot.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that we struggled, Shaq got hurt. We
Yeah.
had Wallace in there, Josie Jules in there. We had a number of rotating parts, but nothing that was solidified. I
Mm-hmm.
think in this draft, you got to find that cat. You got
Okay.
to find that dude. And so when I look at the draft, Walker keeps coming to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
The kid out of Georgia. He's out of
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia, right? Out of Georgia.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He comes to mind because he reminds me of Micah Parsons.
Mm.
He's an edge rusher, but he also can play in the. He can play all over, and he
Mm-hmm.
played all over. And really, he got some nice skills with his hands and snap.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand the the offensive tackles are massive in the NFL. But there's
Mm-hmm.
something about him that I like. I think he has a
Uh-huh.
fire underneath him. He gets
Mm-hmm.
after it. Now, his numbers weren't super duper crazy,
Yeah.
but they weren't low either. So I
Mm-hmm.
think he's one of the potential. And then I saw a video on him just working out. And I know it's just a video working out, but when I
Yeah.
couple that with what he's already done, I'm like, this dude is explosive. This
Mm-hmm.
dude runs more like a safety
Mm-hmm.
playing linebacker, playing
Mm-hmm.
defensive end. He has that type of skill level. His
Mm-hmm.
feet, they were able to get down and switch and turn direction. His hips,
Mm-hmm.
that's Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he has that strength. That's Micah Parsons. So from
Mm-hmm.
that standpoint, he would be one of my first picks there. If he's not there, there's a guy that I like out
Mm-hmm.
of UCLA, and
Mm-hmm.
that's Schwarzenegger.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Dude, he had he had 136 tackles,
Mm-hmm.
like 11 and a half tackle, no, 11 and a half sacks. He had like
Mm-hmm.
7 tackle for losses.
Mm-hmm.
He had maybe 2, maybe 3 interceptions. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, two. He was ubiquitous. He was all over the place.
Yeah.
And now he's not that super duper size. He's not 6'2", 245, 250.
Yeah.
All right. But he plays like it.
Gotcha.
he plays like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
think, and if I can give a quick shout out, Luke Kuechly also
Mm-hmm.
likes this young man.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he comes to mind. All right. So
Hmm.
when I'm thinking about what the Carolina Panthers need to do, I'm looking for a backer because I can find a safety in the draft. I can
Mm-hmm.
find a corner in the draft. I can
Mm-hmm.
find a receiver in the draft
Yeah. But you got to get that good linebacker in the draft that you need.
as rushers, but it has to
Mm-hmm.
be defense. I don't think that we go receiver. I think
Okay.
that receivers are already on your.
Yeah,
I think
he's
I lost y'all,
reconnected.
dog. We good?
No, you back
Yeah.
on. You good?
Yeah.
Good.
So I think the sleeper on the team is Coker. So before we get into that, if we just look at where I'm thinking, I think that Dan Morgan, and I know him as Demo. I don't know. They know him as Dan Morgan because he's a GM. I
Mm-hmm.
know him as a ball player. I know him as a middle linebacker. I
Mm-hmm.
know him as a dog. I know him
Mm-hmm.
as a guy who's making the calls up front and know where he has to shift the defense because the defense is weak because maybe that cat over here ain't pulling his weight. And maybe
Mm-hmm.
I got to switch some things. There's something about playing the game and and at that level and being in a position where you become the quarterback of the defense
Mm-hmm.
that gives you the right to speak into somebody's life and the right to evaluate someone's talent because you're always doing it. You're always doing it, particularly from that position. That's what
Yeah.
he brings to the table. So he's going to tip his hand. If he moves anywhere defensively, and I think he's going to move that way, he's going to tip his hand because he's saying, I got to get this defense back on track.
Well, let me
Because
ask you
third
just
down
a quick
percentage is not
question.
good enough, and third and rushing yards is been woeful.
Just a quick question I got for you then. Every sign saying Jalen Walker. He's from Salisbury area. Everybody's
Yep.
pretty much in it. But this is what I guess this is what I want you to give us as your expertise with playing, win the Super Bowl, being inside the locker room. Why did the Panthers, why did Dan Morgan come out and say we are open for business for the A spot? If that's who you want, why would you be open for that or is it just they playing mind games? Is that a part of it? I'm trying to figure out why if you want Walker, they want Walker. Why would you move from the A spot? I know you want more draft capital, but if you're not going to be able to get him at 21 or back in the back end, so this is what I want to know from you. Being inside, why would they come out and say the eight pick is up for grabs?
Mm-hmm.
Call me and talk about it. This is what I want to know from you.
Okay, so the reason why you would say the eighth pick is up the draft because up for grabs is because you've identified not only Walker, but you've identified a number of
Yep.
guys who will be available and
Yep.
who. Okay, let me just say this about the safeties. There's a lot of good safeties in there. There's Emma Worry, who from South Carolina.
South
There's Nick
Carolina.
Williams
Mm-hmm.
from Notre Dame. There's Mukaba from Texas. There's a number of
Mm-hmm.
guys who are really, really good. You know that those safeties are going to be around the second round. Maybe one of those guys may go in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And all of them first rounders I just named. But maybe
Yeah.
one may go. So now what are you sitting there? If you had your bets and you go ahead and pick up, trade a spot, move down or
Mm-hmm.
move back if you want, however you want to say, get
Yeah.
a 25 pick or whatever it may be, and you still have another pick that's coming right off the heels of that,
Yeah.
dude, you're gonna go ahead and get 2 first-round
Round
cash.
picks. Yeah.
Got it. I
That's
got
what
it.
you. That's
Yeah.
what you're gonna go ahead and do. And let me say something
Mm-hmm.
about the safeties there. Emma Worry, Mukaba, and Watts. Watts
Yep.
has 7 picks the year before, 6 picks this year.
Mm-hmm.
Your boy Emma Worry has 5 picks this year. He's 6'2", 236.
Yeah, big
Mm-hmm.
dude.
He's a big
Yeah.
dude.
South Carolina.
He's
Yeah,
huge,
he's a
and
freak.
he got crazy speed.
He a freak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if you got in the later rounds and you give up a spot in the later rounds, you know that he's not projected to go. He's projected to go at the very end of the draft. I mean, the
Mm-hmm.
very end
Mm-hmm.
of the first round. So
Yeah.
now,
Mm-hmm.
what does that mean? If the Panthers sitting there, oh, hold up, wait a minute, I can go ahead and get this cat right here, and it still
Mm-hmm.
may be a DN or
Yep.
a linebacker ready,
Yep.
because this is a heavy class of safeties, linebackers, and edge rushers. So
Yep.
now if
Mm-hmm.
you D-Mo, you sitting back there in the cut and you go like this. Yeah, okay, all right. I can go ahead and do some stuff. Don't forget, we gave. What were people saying when we let DJ Moore go at the receiver spot, right? Hey, we got no more receivers. We let him go. We let him go for Bryce. Oh, we giving away everything, giving away the farm just to get Bryce. So now, what is Demo thinking? It's up for grabs. Because guess what? This draft has so much capital, so much currency, and there's so many spots I can go. If I get me a safety, I'm good. If I get me a linebacker, I'm good. If I get me an edge rusher, I'm good. Because guess what? One of those cats is going to be there.
Yeah.
They're going to. I'm seeing offensive tackles getting picked. I'm seeing running backs getting picked. I'm seeing receivers getting picked. I'm seeing quarterbacks getting picked. I see a couple of edge rushers get picked, but there's a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
There's a whole bunch of guys. So to your point, Mike, is that, dude, you can hedge your bets and say, if we move back in the draft, give away this capital, and we steal somebody, and then we got another pick right away, and we steal another cat, that's two for the price of one, dude.
Yeah.
And
2 for 5.
you're giving the fans what they want. You're saying, hold up, dude, you got 2 number ones? Basically, because it's going to be a lot of number one people who are not going to get picked, who should have got picked at number one.
And then I don't know if Dara got a chance to look at this. I don't think I even talked to him about it. I saw you on the weekend. I saw Mr. Eugene talking to somebody in the Panthers organization on the weekend. You were talking about the men and their hearts. Basically, which I'm paraphrasing what you were saying. You can draft all these guys you want, but you don't know what's inside their chest. You don't know what kind of dog they got. So by you saying that, you can take all these guys, but you don't know what's in here. So I want you to elaborate a little bit and tell us what you were speaking about until you don't know. You can draft anybody first or the 7th round. You don't like you was an undrafted free agent. So you had dog in you. Everybody ain't got dog in you. You can be the first pick. You might not have no dog in you. You might have a 7th round pick gonna come out and ball out. I want you to speak to like Jalen Coker is a prime example of what I'm talking about. He was undrafted, but I think that kid's a sleeper. I really believe he's a sleeper.
Okay, so to your point, this is to your point, and it's a great point. Terrell Davis and Tom Brady have something in common. Deacon Jones and Terry Bradshaw. Terry Bradshaw was in the 14th round pick. Deacon Jones was a 17th round pick. Your boy Terrell Davis was a 6th round draft pick. And then Tom Brady. All of whom I just named. You tell me there's no dogs in there. You can't measure in their heart. You don't know what's in the dudes. You don't know what a dude is made of. I've seen plenty of guys who are top guys. You say, oh man, you gotta get that cat right there. He's gonna be a beast, man. He's gonna be a beast. Yeah, he got numbers, he got stuff. Dude, when it comes down to playing, I'll look a man in the eye and I'll smack you in the mouth legally.
And that's what I need.
That's the way the game's supposed to be played.
Yeah. It's supposed to be. Yes.
And I'm going to run hard. I'm going to work. I'm going to know the academics of football. I'm going to know where you fit, I fit, where everybody's fit. And then guess what? I'm going to go get it. I'm going to go get it because I want it. I want to prove to you that, hey, you missed out and you messed up. I should have been one of your cats. But since I ain't one of your guys, let me prove to you that one of your guys ain't your guy and I should be the guy. Because you don't know what God has put in me, and you don't know what's in my heart. You don't know, dude. I had people on a football field that I kicked off the field because they faking an injury because it's 3rd down and 5. You got Warren Moon, they're coming up, and he got them 3 great receivers, those 3 big old receivers. He got them receivers, and guess what? We got to stop him. And I got my best corner faking an injury because he don't want to be there. He's the fastest dude on our team. He's got the beast. I ain't gonna tell you his name. I grabbed him by his shirt and said, "Yo, you got to go. Get off the field, man." And I asked the other dude, I'll call him Mel. Mel, come on in the game. He said, "What? I need you." We came in the game. Mel is a dog. We stopped him 3rd down, got the ball turned over. Boom, we win the game. Now, my man could have been a big part of that, but guess what? He was scared, dude. But if you saw this cat, you'll go like this. Oh, I want him. I want this dude on my team. I don't go by none of that crap, dude. I don't go by none of that. Who wants them on the team? This, that. I'll find out in training camp. I'm gonna find out what you made of. I'm gonna find out what's the metal. You
Like
know,
Jalen
that's why I
Walker.
like
Yep.
Christian
Jalen
McCaffrey.
Colbert.
Christian
Yep.
McCaffrey is a dog.
Yep.
Christian McCaffrey is a dog. That dude right
Mm-hmm.
there is a beast, man. And
Yep.
I said to him one time, I said, dude, I bet you get that reverse discrimination because people don't think that you should be as
Yeah.
good as you are, but you're a
Yeah.
beast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said, dude, you a beast. You show
Yeah.
up, you a beast. You,
Mm-hmm.
dude, this cat will possibly be in the Hall of Fame one day. That
Yep.
dude
Mm-hmm.
is that good.
Oh
Yeah,
All
he's
yeah.
right,
that
but
good.
guess what? If you look at him, oh man, he shouldn't be
Yeah.
like that. It's
Yeah.
Yep.
like the
Yeah.
same thing about Larry Bird. Oh, he's too
Yeah.
slow,
Yep.
man. That's that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Yep.
Larry Bird
Yeah.
cooking cats, dude.
Exactly.
You
Cooking
can't go
so
somebody else.
I don't go by what's on the outside. The
Yeah.
Bible
Mm-hmm.
says here that man looks at the outward appearance, but God looks at the heart.
Exactly.
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 And here it is. I don't care. I don't
Mm-hmm.
care. Now, yes, there are some measurables. Yes, you got to run fast. Yes, you got to be strong. Yes, you got to
Mm-hmm.
know that. But when it comes down to it, it's me against you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And what am I going to do? All right, D. All right, I got to go against the dark side. I got to go against him.
Mm-hmm.
What am I got to phone it in? No, I'm gonna go against him. And if he
Mm-hmm.
beat me again. If
Gotcha.
he
But
beat me again. So that's what Dan Morgan said. That's what this is what Dan Morgan is getting to the heart of. He
Mm-hmm.
said,
Mm-hmm.
I need them cats like that. I want you to have the great physical tools. I want you to be able to run. I want you to be able to that. But when it comes down to it, I want your want to be more than what everybody else want to is. Because if
Yeah.
your want
Exactly.
to's like that, you are gonna be a great player.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Robinson. The draft overall, you know what I'm saying? You got it's a lot of every time it gets closer to the draft, you're always hearing these little reports or these little naysayers or these little what people always nitpicking people. They always be nitpicking at certain things about the Shedeur Sanders situation, him being the
Mm-hmm.
quarterback. He didn't. You don't got all the measurables on tape. You don't seen the tape. Why is it that they're all this? It seems like certain
The closer,
people
the
are
closer
just
to the draft.
nitpicking.
Yep.
Yeah, nitpicking him on every little thing.
Because that's what we do in media. The media nitpicks every little thing because one, not only it sells what's the name, but they can't look like they got to play the devil's advocate, all this
Yeah.
whole stuff. Now I'm with you, D. Here it is. The dude's percentage is 74%.
Exactly.
Dude, he got 37 touchdowns, maybe
Yeah.
40,
Yes.
37. Dude,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
he has like 7, 8 interceptions. His
Yep.
numbers are insane. So if you
Yeah.
want to know what he's done, the past is prologue. The past, you can tell by the past. Look at what he's already done.
Done.
Because
Mm-hmm.
guess what? You did that with Joe Burrows.
Yep.
You did that with old boy. Was that Clemson
Trevor
with the
Lawrence.
long hair?
Trevor Lawrence.
The
Yeah.
Trevor
dude with the
Trevor
Lawrence.
long
Lawrence.
hair.
Trevor Lawrence. Yep.
Trevor
Trevor
Lawrence.
Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence,
Yep.
I don't like
Yeah.
him. I think he's a beast. But you've done that with every other look, dude. You got to look at the person's numbers. Now, if he wasn't a pocket quarterback, I think he's a pocket quarterback who can
Yeah.
actually run. And I
Yep.
think his vision is incredible.
Yep.
I don't care that he has a strong arm. Drew Brees didn't have a strong arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Drew Brees
He's
just had
accurate.
great timing
Yep.
and threw people open. So
Mhm.
here it is. You got somebody who can't play, who don't know how to play
Mm-hmm.
that quarterback position from that level,
Mm-hmm.
giving him instructions of how to go ahead and play quarterback and what he can and cannot do. Now think about
Now,
that, dude. I want you to think about that. I know
Uh-huh.
nothing about Mike and what you do with the mail. I just
Mm-hmm.
see.
Yeah.
I just think, yeah, he just, he's just there.
Yeah.
But I
Mhm.
bet you there's a lot of stuff that's behind the scenes that I have
Yep.
absolutely nothing
No
that I know
idea.
about Dark Side. I don't even know.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
I take it for granted. I take it for granted that you do your job so well that,
Mhm.
oh, I could do that. No,
yeah.
Mhm.
because
No.
there's nuances and there's things and characteristics, things that you do in a job that I have no idea.
Exactly.
I look from afar. But when I step in your shoes, I go, oh, wait a minute. Oh, hold on. I need to go this route because it's okay. How do I avoid the traffic?
Mhm.
Hold on, wait a minute. Now.
Yeah.
I didn't know all this stuff had to come with it. What's going on with this? So
Yeah.
we got people jumping in, tell me about Shedeur and what Shedeur can do and all that stuff. And I'm going, dude, you don't play quarterback. Look, I'm a
Exactly.
defensive back. I study quarterbacks for a living.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I know what I see with Elway. I know what I've
Mm-hmm.
seen with Montana. I know what I've seen with Dan Marino. I my job, Elway. My job, Warren Moon, is to study quarterback. All of whom I
Mm-hmm.
just mentioned are Hall of Fame
Hall
quarterbacks.
of
Yeah.
Fame.
I got their
Yeah.
helmets, by the way. Just to let you
Yeah.
know,
Mm.
I got them to sign a helmet from me
Mm-hmm.
and say, "Hey, man, hey, thanks. I want you to sign a helmet
Mm-hmm.
because that's what I think about you because I know how
Mhm.
good they are." All right.
Yeah.
But I study it
Mm-hmm.
for a living. This dude's vision is crazy vision. He got crazy guts, and he's able to stand in the pocket and
Yep.
deliver the ball with accuracy,
Yep.
74%. Dude, and what we have never even explored is, dude, if he really wanted to run, could he
Yeah.
be as good as Baker Mayfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could he be
Yeah.
as good as Baker Mayfield? I'm not going
Yeah.
to put him
Yeah.
up against Lamar, and I'm not putting him
Yeah.
against Cam Newton because those are anomalies. Those dudes
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
like, okay, you know,
He can
Randall
move.
Cunningham,
He can
a
He
move.
can
little
move.
shifty.
Yeah.
He can move.
However,
He
with the
can
star
extend
quarterbacks
plays.
that we have, if he decided to run, could he be more like a Roethlisberger? I mean, he's not big like that, but he was
Yeah.
maneuverable. Could he?
Yeah.
What could he do if he even decides that he's going to make that a part of his game? Because if he
Mm-hmm.
does,
Exactly.
he's going to become even more dangerous. He would be
Yep.
more like to your boy who was in the Seattle Seahawks. Then he went to Denver. Then he went to the Pittsburgh
Oh,
Steelers.
Wilson. I mean,
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson.
Russell
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah.
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 Russell
Yeah.
Wilson. He would be a lot like Russell Wilson,
Yeah.
who's
Yeah.
able to go ahead if he decides to run.
He
He's
can
a
run.
problem.
Yeah.
He's a
Yeah.
problem. But he's running
Extend
to
the
Now,
throw
play.
the ball.
Yep.
it's another question I want to ask you.
Go
This
ahead, bro.
guy out of Arizona, I don't know this guy from Adam and Eve. This Tech McMillan guy, the receiver. I listen to what you always say because you play the game, like you said, like Dan Morgan played. I listen to Steve Smith a lot when it comes to receivers. He said he wouldn't touch him. But then I heard this young man say that he don't even watch tape. He don't even study. So I'm saying to myself, they had this guy this high. But
Mm-hmm.
when I watched the tape of him, and I've been watching this, I've been studying this guy because it was a possibility at the beginning when they said we need a number one receiver. I'm like, please don't take
Mm-hmm.
this guy. Why would you touch somebody that tell you up front, say, hey, I don't really watch a lot of tape. He's a one-trick pony. You throw the ball up in the air. Haven't we
Mm-hmm.
seen that in Kelvin Benjamin? Haven't we seen that with Dwayne Jarrett here? Haven't we seen that with
Mm-hmm.
other guys? Stay away from me. I'm gonna tell you the receiver. If I had a chance to move back and get somebody, Golden, the guy from Texas with the speed. We do
Yeah.
need a speed receiver. I do believe that because Leggett and Coca Leggett is fast, but Leggett to me is a body catcher, which scares me.
Yeah.
He has to learn how to catch with his hands. I'm not saying he cannot catch, but he's a body catcher. Now Coca is a hand. You can tell Coca
Yep.
catches with his hands, but
Yep.
we need a
Mm-hmm.
speed guy to take the top off. So I wouldn't touch that guy from Arizona to save my life. Now Matthew Golden, I would. His Bond, his teammate, is in some kind of legal situation, but those two guys I would take in the minute before I take Tech. What do you believe by that? What do you think about that?
Yeah.
What I said is
Okay.
this guy say
Because
he don't watch tape.
okay, here it is. First of all, let me go. Let me answer first what you kind of ended up with here. You talk about the
Mm-hmm.
speed guy. The speed guy that comes to mind for me is Ted Ginn. Ted
Yep.
Ginn was able to take the top off of every
Mm-hmm.
defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you got a dude that's that fast, Cook, who played for the Saints and then he went to a
Yep.
couple,
Yep.
he's
Yep.
like that.
Yep. Yep.
Worthy, who plays for Kansas City,
Kansas City.
Can't see it. Yep.
he's
Mm-hmm.
got that speed. Every defensive back, you got to respect it. You got to respect it because don't forget, we run backwards.
Mm-hmm.
They're running forwards. Okay,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and if you don't
Mm-hmm.
turn, dude, he's gonna take the top off. Okay, so your point is well
Mm-hmm.
taken. I'm gonna take a guy a speedster to take the top off to make a Coker, a Leggett, a Thielen even more
Yep.
valuable. That's the
Yep.
first thing.
Yep.
Now, let me
Yep.
go back to the first
Mm-hmm.
thing you said about a guy who says, "Hey, I really don't study. Let's throw the ball up. I'm gonna go ahead and eat and Randy
Mm-hmm.
Moss you all day." Here's the
Mm-hmm.
problem with that. Dude, football is an academic game. It's about the X's and O's and knowing where to be at and where you should be at on a certain play, where you should be on a certain break, or when you are in a route, when you should shut down the route because you're about to move into a zone, or in a
Mm-hmm.
man you need to put or when it's double team, when you should go
Mm-hmm.
ahead and attack one guy, attack another guy. How do you attack him inside out if you go to inside? All that stuff. So all the nuances of what you need to know, and then not only the plays, and when they change the plays and stuff, you can't be sitting there going, "Hold up, so, okay, what do I should be running now?" You should know that because guess what? As good as you are, you're just now an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
What makes you a great football player is the academics of football, and you
Yeah.
happen to be a great athlete because now your 4-3 just became a 4 flat. Your
Mm-hmm.
4-7 just became a 4-4 because
Mm-hmm.
you know where the ball is going defensively or offensively. You know where to be at, where the people are going to be at. It's the academics of football. And if you got a big heart, yeah, you go at it. So I don't know what's in his heart. He could, but I'm going to tell this young man, dude, you better study. And you better make sure that you dive into the books because if you don't, you won't be around very long.
No,
You're gonna have a
not for
small
long.
career. And what happens when you get hurt?
Yep.
That's
And
it.
what
And
is
NFL
and what and Mike, what and Doc, what happens this that all the other people you just told that all that stuff that you're doing right now don't matter.
it don't.
Studying does not matter. It
It
doesn't
don't.
matter. When every coach that we have and every coaching staff, all they do is watch film and they predicate what they're going to do based on what you're doing. So
Yep.
they're watching
Exactly.
film based on what you're doing. And you mean to tell me that you don't want to join the party? And that you don't want to join the party? Then guess
Yeah.
what?
I
You
didn't
will be
understand
left
it.
behind.
Yeah.
I didn't when I heard it, I didn't understand it. And then I heard something today. I don't let both of y'all know. The speech out of Detroit. Jameson on the other side of they say Detroit is putting him up for trade. Number 9.
Hold on. Oh
He's on
yeah,
the
you talking
opposite
about
Oh, the
side of
wide receiver?
the
yeah,
cat
from Alabama.
Jason? Yeah,
Jameson.
he's a
So now this is something I'm hearing. They're saying the Panthers should jump all over that. They said that Detroit want a second or third round pick for him. He's a speech
no,
that he's only 24,
hold on.
25.
Detroit want to do it. What type pick for him? Say again.
Detroit won a second or third round pick for him, and they were saying Carolina Panthers be the perfect person because he's still only 25, I think, if I'm mistaken. He's still young and he already been in the league, and he's a speedster. Would you rather take a flyer on somebody like that or a kid coming out of college you don't know about?
I would like to take a guy who's already been in the league and who's
Yeah.
been running
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
already been indoctrinated into a system. And if
Mm-hmm.
he's a speedster, here's the fact. This is what should happen to a guy who can be misplaced and misdiagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
This kid from Detroit. All right. You weren't used maybe the way you should have been used, and you didn't eat the way you should have eaten, and now you get another chance to go to a different team and become a guy where a team don't have a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm looking at that. If I'm looking at my age, I'm going like this. Oh, I'm about to bum rush that spot. Here was a problem we had 2 years ago with the receivers, right? We had DJ, we had Thielen, we had the kid who got into the that we kicked off the team and sent them to the
To Chicago.
What was that kid's
No,
name?
he talking about dude from the Cowboys. He from Mississippi.
Okay.
You talking Ole Miss, the one we took in the second round, and everybody kept saying he's gonna be a nice little player, and they man.
Yeah. So we had a number of players, right? Receivers that were always kind of like in the same boat to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Nobody wanted to take the reins. Nobody wanted to take the reins. I'm sitting there going, dude, I'm a free agent, dude. I looked and saw where I could fit in going, man, I need to go ahead and beat these cats out.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I ain't going to beat the starter out. Boom. Because he's a starter. I'm a free agent. I got to work my butt on special teams. I got to go ahead and make an impact.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I made an impact, then I'm like, man, if I get in there, you got to show out.
Yeah.
I got to show out.
Mm-hmm.
Got in there, I got to show out. Even when I got traded to the Green Bay Packers, they don't know me. None of those guys know me. I'm an old guy. I'm 31, but 11 years in the league, I'm old, dude.
Mm-hmm.
And they got Leroy Butler, they got a lot of dudes that said they didn't know nothing about me.
Mm-hmm.
The first time we had a live practice, I dropped about 2 dudes, bow, bow. And I looked around and said, okay, now y'all know me.
Yeah. You made your presence known.
Now y'all know.
Mm-hmm.
And I
You
said,
made your presence known.
and I told him this. I said, what I do is I get people lined up, I get you in the right position. If I tell you what we're running, if I change the defense, make sure you listen to me. I said, and I'm going to get interceptions, and I'm going to make tackles. If you don't make the tackle, I'm going to make the tackle.
Mm-hmm.
I said, believe that. I said, I know y'all don't know me. I said, but believe that. I'm about to end up that year, my first year in Green Bay, even if I count the play for a total of 8 interceptions, I had like maybe 81, 90,
You know where to be at.
85 tackles, and then like maybe 3 or 4 forced fumbles.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I was balling out.
Yeah.
I was balling out, but I got another opportunity to be that guy. All right, I'm gonna be that guy. And then when I went to Atlanta, I'm like, I got an opportunity to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity. When we look at the receivers here at the Carolina Panthers, it's wide open for somebody to come and say, I'm the man. Now here it is. Here's the ironic part of all that. Every one of these guys we mentioned, every one of them we mentioned for the last couple of years who played receiver. All right, I don't know all the names, but they're all kind of the same guy. They were the best at their high school and the best at college, and they thought that way. They thought there was nobody better than in high school, nobody better than college. And somehow, when they got to the pros, they don't think that way. And I'm sitting there going, what has changed, dude?
But that's why I like Coco, because
let me eat.
But that's why I like Coco, because you being undrafted, you should. The way he played, there's nowhere in the world you can tell me he's not in the 7 rounds. He could have got drafted.
Yeah.
He played and tried to show them I'm that guy. The play he made against Dallas showed me something. He got speed. I didn't know he had that kind of speed. I was like, whoa. He took that 70-something, 80 yards. I'm like, wow. So if they can get Leggett hands to be, I'm not saying like Thielen, because Thielen's a veteran, but he needs to learn how to catch out here instead of catching it here. He got to use his hands. That's the only thing scary me about him. He can be, because the Philadelphia game, Lord knows that replays in my mind over and over and over. If you run through it instead of diving, that was a touchdown. You didn't have no reason to dive. If you trust your hands, it was a touchdown. But like I say, neither here or there. But me and Darryl both know you got somewhere to go, and we're gonna tell our fans, you going to Green Bay, you got to catch a flight tomorrow for the draft. The last words I want to say again, I want to give you flowers while you're here, because you don't have to take the time out to be on our podcast. As a former athlete, a Super Bowl champion, for you to take the time out just for this little podcast, you know how much it means to me, it means the world to me.
Yeah,
for you to take your time out before the day for the draft, you're going to Green Bay and you took the time out to get with us. You're giving our fans the insight of NFL draft, what's going on in and out. So like I said, I want to say for me personally, thank you so much. This is my lifelong dream of being an analyst, and you helping me try to become that. Thank you so much, Eugene. But like I said, Darryl, you got any parting words?
I want to tell them thank you too. We appreciate your time, man. Thank you for even just like I said, just getting on our podcast and just speaking with us and knowing how you are. You're humble. You're very forthcoming. You know what I'm saying? You're God blessed. You know, definitely want to thank you, man. We appreciate you, man.
Now you know I'm be texting you when you get there. You know I'm be texting you all weekend before you, because I'm be like, at the draft get there. Listen, when I say I could, Darryl don't know this. Me, Mr. Eugene said the other day for about an hour and a half, just going back and forth. I can literally do this. I can literally do this all day from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. I can talk sports. This is the time of year that makes me. If I was a prospect, this is when I'm trying to work. The way I try to work on this podcast is the way I'd be working in that stadium if I had the opportunity to play football. I'm going in and I'm gonna be there 5 o'clock in the morning working out before the guys even get in the stadium. This is the mentality that you have to have as a player. This is why I can't stand basketball no more. They don't play basketball 82 games. They sit out low management. But then when the playoffs come now you want to play. These last couple games, this series is weekend. All the games that we can except for Memphis and OKC. What was this mentality all year long? You wait, Michael Jordan, them era. You know this, Eugene, yourself. In them eras, you earn everything that you got on the court, even on the football field. You earn everything you got. These athletes nowadays are privileged. They play for the name on the back of the jersey instead of the front of the jersey. They don't play for the city. They don't play for the love of the game no more. It kills me. You wait till postseason. Now you want to turn it up and be What was this 82 games in basketball? Football fans are saying to me, I can go on and on about it. I'm not going to do it because I can rant all day, but I know you got somewhere to go. I want to say thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Like I say, have a safe flight to Green Bay. I will be texting you. If I start texting you too much, just say, Mike, stop texting me. But I just want to know from ins and out if you heard anything because I love this time of the year.
No, so no. When I get down there, Lord willing, when I get down there, I'll I'll be around all the. Since I'm in part of the media, I'll be
Mm-hmm.
down there with all the happenings the NFL experience at the
Mm-hmm.
draft itself, and so I'll have access to those players once they
Mm-hmm.
end up getting drafted and whatnot. So it's going to be great. Here's the great thing about the draft: their lives are going to change dramatically.
Yeah.
Everyone in
Yeah.
that first round, and even the guys in that second round, their life is going to change dramatically. All
Mm.
right.
Mhm.
And then, beside the money, all that stuff, everybody still loves the game because they played it as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And they like that there's an inner thing that you have. So you're going to want to shine. I'm saying, hey, keep an eye on Shador. Keep
Mm-hmm.
an eye on Travis Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Two
Mhm.
dudes out of Colorado when they was at Jackson State. When they go to Colorado, I think there's something to go ahead and prove to the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. I just feel that way. Something to
Mm-hmm.
prove to the entire world. And I think being Dion being the coach and Dion being the dad, this and that,
Mm-hmm.
I think there's like a strike against them. This and that.
Yes.
Mhm.
I just think so a little bit.
Yeah.
Whether that's true or not, I think it's maybe a strike against them. But I
Mm-hmm.
think the intestinal fortitude and what I've seen from those two people, I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, I want them on my team. I know
Mm-hmm.
one
Yeah.
thing: Deion Sanders has a problem. He has a problem replacing
Yep.
those two young
You ain't
men
Yep.
never
on
lied.
that team because
You
the
never
production
lied.
they got was huge. Was
Mm-hmm.
huge.
But like I say, man, thank you so much, Mr. Eugene. We're
Thank
not
you.
gonna hold no more of the time.
Okay, well, hey,
But
I'm good, my brother.
we
Hey,
definitely gonna
I'll
say,
text you, and we'll be texting, dog.
All
hey,
right.
but you
Peace.
be
Have a
safe,
safe
man. Have a
flight.
great flight, man. Be good, man.
All right,
Talk to
Peace
you.
love
out.
you, my dog. All right,
All right.
love
Love
you
All
you
right,
too.
too.
man.
All right.